Welcome to my channel, Unleash Your English. Have you ever felt like time was slipping away? Like no matter how many videos you watch, how many plans you make, or how many dreams you write down, you're still not moving forward? I felt the same, until I changed one simple thing. A small morning habit. It didn't just help my English. It helped my whole life. And today, I'll share that secret with you. The one that turned my lazy mornings into powerful beginnings. Do you ever feel stuck in the morning too? Comment below, yes or no. Let's begin. Chapter 1. I was always late to my own life. There was a time when every day started the same way. The alarm would ring. I would hit snooze. Again and again. I told myself, just 5 more minutes. But 5 minutes became 10. Then 20. And suddenly, the morning was gone. I would jump out of bed, rush through my clothes, skip breakfast, and run into the day already tired. I wasn't just late for work. I wasn't just late for my plans. I was late to my own life. I didn't have time to think. I didn't have time to grow. I didn't have time for English. And most of all, I didn't have time for myself. Maybe you know this feeling. That feeling of chasing the day, like a train you already missed. You try to catch up, but the day keeps running ahead, and you feel like a stranger inside your own story. I remember looking in the mirror one morning and not liking the person I saw. Not because of how I looked, but because of how I felt. I was tired, not just in my body. I was tired in my mind. I had so many dreams, to speak English well, to become confident, to live a better life. But every day was the same. Wake up late, rush, survive, sleep, repeat. Where was the progress? Where was the growth? Where was me? I was living in a loop, and the loop was eating my time, my energy, my passion. And slowly, my dreams were fading. Not because they weren't real, but because I wasn't showing up for them. I was showing up for everyone else, but not for myself. One day, something small changed everything. I missed a bus. Again. I was late again. And I sat on a bench, angry at the world. But then a thought hit me. What if the problem wasn't the world? What if it wasn't the alarm clock, or the traffic, or the bus? What if the problem was me? Not in a bad way, but in a powerful way. What if the answer was also me? That moment shook me. I had been blaming everything around me. But maybe success doesn't start with the clock. Maybe it starts with the person looking at the clock. Maybe it starts inside. So I asked myself one question that changed my mornings forever. What if I woke up for myself first? Not for school. Not for work. Not for others. Just me. Even if it was just 5 minutes. Just 10 minutes. What if I gave the first few minutes of my day to my dream, to my English, to my voice, to my mind? That one question lit a small fire inside me. I didn't make a big promise. I didn't say, from tomorrow, I'll wake up at 4 a.m. every day. No, I said something very small. Tomorrow, I will wake up 5 minutes earlier, and I will not check my phone. I will just sit and breathe and speak one English sentence. That was it. No big plan, no big goal, just one small moment of showing up for myself. And the next morning, I did it. I was still sleepy. I still wanted to stay in bed, but I remembered that promise. So I sat up, and I said out loud, I am awake. This is my time. That sentence was not perfect English, but it was powerful English, because it was mine. I didn't need a classroom. I didn't need a book. I needed me. That sentence became the seed, and from that seed, a new version of me started to grow. The truth is, we don't change our lives by doing everything. We change our lives by doing one small thing, again and again. Before this habit, I thought I didn't have time. But the truth was, I didn't have a direction. I was letting life happen to me. Now, even with just 5 minutes, I was taking life back. Those 5 minutes were not just about English. They were about identity. When I gave my morning to myself, I was telling my brain, you matter. Your voice matters. Your dream matters. That one small choice, to wake up for myself, was the beginning of a new life. Not perfect, but real and better. And maybe you are there right now. Maybe your mornings feel like a race. Maybe you wake up tired. Maybe your phone is the first thing you touch. Maybe your dream is waiting behind all the noise. I want to tell you this. You don't need to fix everything. You don't need to change your whole day. You just need to start with you. Give yourself 5 minutes. Say one sentence. Look in the mirror. Breathe. That's how I started. That's how success started for me. Not outside, but inside. And it can start for you too. Chapter 2. What morning meant to me, before and after. There was a time when morning was just a word for me. Just something that happened every day. I didn't think it was special. I didn't know it was powerful. I thought morning was just the beginning of another busy, boring, tiring day. Wake up. Rush. Work. Survive. Sleep. Repeat. I didn't see the morning as an opportunity. I saw it as a problem, because I always felt behind. The sun was up, but I was down. My body was moving, but my heart was tired. And worst of all, I was letting that tiredness control everything. My energy, my English, my confidence, my day. That was my life before. I want you to close your eyes and imagine something. Two versions of yourself. One wakes up late, checks the phone first, scrolls social media, feels lazy, skips practice, and says, I'll try tomorrow. That version doesn't grow. That version stays in the same place, year after year. The other version wakes up just 5 minutes earlier. That version drinks water, takes a deep breath, opens the mouth, and says, I'm ready for this day. I'm learning. I'm speaking. I'm alive. That second version may still make mistakes, may still feel sleepy, but that version is growing. And over time, that version wins. Because that version shows up again and again. The day I created that second version of myself, everything started to change. It didn't happen in a big way. I didn't suddenly become successful. I didn't suddenly become fluent in English. I didn't feel perfect. But I felt something new. I felt proud. And that one feeling changed how I saw the morning. Because now, the morning was not just a time. It was a message from life that said, here is a new chance. What will you do with it? Before, my mornings were cold, fast, and noisy. After, my mornings became warm, slow, and mine. The biggest shift didn't happen in my alarm clock. It happened in my mind. I stopped saying, I have no time, and I started saying, this time is for me. That change felt small, but it was huge. Because when you give your first few minutes to yourself, to your growth, to your dream, something magical happens. You start the day in control. You feel calm. You feel strong. You feel like you are living on purpose. And that feeling follows you the whole day, like a quiet confidence inside your chest. Your voice becomes stronger. Your English becomes braver. Your focus becomes sharper. Why? Because you began the day with you, not with the world. Before this habit, I used to wake up and run straight into stress. I would open WhatsApp, see messages, open Instagram, and lose 30 minutes. My mind was filled with other people's lives, not mine. I was starting my day with noise, comparison, pressure, and of course, I felt weak. But when I began my new habit, 5 minutes of quiet, 5 minutes of English, 5 minutes of mirror talk. I started my day with peace, with purpose, with power. I wasn't just awake. I was present. Some people think the morning has to be perfect. No, it doesn't. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. and do 10 things. You don't need to follow a big plan. You just need to do one small thing for yourself. Speak one sentence. Write one line. Smile at the mirror. Breathe. When you do that, the morning becomes a place of growth, not guilt. A place of love, not laziness. And when the morning becomes beautiful, the day begins to follow. And when the day follows, your life starts to change. Slowly, gently, but surely. And the best part? You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need the perfect routine. You don't even need to feel strong. You just need to say, "This morning is mine." That one sentence can open the door to your success. Because success doesn't start in the evening when you're tired and busy. It doesn't start next week. It starts now. It starts in the quiet moment when you decide to rise, even if just a little bit earlier, and say, "I'm not just alive. I'm becoming who I want to be." So today, I want you to try something. Don't change everything. Just try one thing. Wake up 5 minutes earlier tomorrow. Don't check your phone. Don't rush. Just sit, look in the mirror, and say a few English words. I'm learning. I'm growing. I believe in myself. That is your morning. That is your message. That is your magic. Because before, the morning belonged to your alarm. But now it belongs to you. Chapter 3. The 5-minute rule that opened the door. I remember the exact day I made the decision. I was tired of starting every morning with guilt. I was tired of telling myself, "I'll try harder tomorrow." I was tired of dreaming big at night and waking up the next day doing nothing. So I made a rule. A very simple rule. Not a 1-hour routine. Not a complicated plan. Just 5 minutes. That's it. 5 minutes for myself. 5 minutes before the world wakes up. 5 minutes of no phone, no noise, no pressure. Just me and my dream. I called it my 5-minute rule. And that small rule opened a very big door. You see, we think change needs to be big. We think we need motivation, energy, time. But what we really need is a starting point. Just a tiny one. And 5 minutes is that tiny point. It's small enough that your lazy mind won't fight it. It's short enough that you can't say, "I don't have time." But it's powerful enough to start changing your life. That's what happened to me. I told myself, no matter how I feel, I will give just 5 minutes to myself every morning. No excuses. And something inside me changed. I felt in control. I felt proud. For the first time in a long time, I kept a promise to myself. That first morning, I didn't do anything amazing. I didn't run. I didn't read a book. I didn't speak fluent English. I just sat on my bed. I put my feet on the floor. I took a deep breath. And I whispered, "Good morning. I am here." Then, I said one sentence in English. Just one. "Today is a new day." That's all. But you know what? I felt different. I felt like I had done something for myself. I didn't start the day as a victim. I started as the owner of my time. That's the secret. Those 5 minutes weren't about the sentence. They were about the feeling of taking back my morning. I want to ask you something now. Can you give yourself 5 minutes? Not for your phone. Not for replying to people. Not for checking news. Just for you. For your voice. For your goal. For your English. Just 5 minutes of quiet focus. 5 minutes where you sit, breathe, and speak one small sentence. I am learning. I am growing. I am not perfect, but I'm trying. These are not just words. They are fuel for your brain. They are proof that you are moving forward. Let me be honest with you. Some mornings I didn't want to do it. My bed felt warm. My mind felt sleepy. But I remembered the rule. Just 5 minutes. That sentence became my power. I didn't argue with myself. I didn't say, maybe later. I said, 5 minutes, then I can go back to sleep. But I never did. Because after 5 minutes, I felt awake. My eyes were open. My mind was clear. And I felt ready. That's the magic. 5 minutes can change your state. It can change your story. And when you change your story, you change your life. This rule helped my English too. Because in those 5 minutes, I spoke with more emotion. I was not performing for anyone. I was speaking for me. I repeated one sentence again and again. I looked in the mirror. I whispered, then I said it louder. I even smiled while saying it. And slowly, my words became real. They didn't just stay in my mouth. They entered my heart. And when you feel your English, you remember it. You live it. You speak it naturally. People often say, I don't have time to practice English. But the truth is, we all have 5 minutes. We just give it to other things, social media, small talks, mindless habits. If you take those minutes back, even just one small piece of time, and give it to your future, you will win. You will grow. And no one can stop you. The 5-minute rule is not about time. It's about trust. It's about keeping a promise to yourself. And when you keep that small promise again and again, your confidence grows. You begin to believe, yes, I can. I can change. I can learn. I can become more. That belief is what opens the door. That's why I say, the 5-minute rule opened my door to success, not just in English, but in everything. So try it. Tomorrow morning. Just 5 minutes. Wake up, sit up, speak up. Don't wait to be perfect. Just begin. The morning is waiting for you. And your voice is ready. Chapter 4. The Morning Mirror Talk That Changed My Voice. It was early morning. The world was quiet. My room was quiet. But my heart was not. I had just started my 5-minute rule. I was sitting on my bed, still sleepy, trying to speak English alone. But something felt missing. I needed more. I needed something stronger, something more honest. That's when I stood up, walked to my mirror, and looked at myself. Really looked. Not like I usually do when brushing my teeth, but like I was looking at someone I had forgotten myself. And in that moment, I said a sentence out loud. I believe in you. And something happened. I felt my voice, not just in my mouth, but in my whole body. That moment changed everything. That was the first time I felt truly heard. Not by others, but by myself. Talking to the mirror may sound silly, maybe even strange, but it's one of the most powerful tools I've ever used to improve my English and to improve my confidence. The mirror became my teacher, my partner, my audience. It didn't laugh at my mistakes. It didn't judge my accent. It didn't get bored. It simply reflected back the truth. This is who I am. And this is who I'm becoming. Every morning, I stood in front of that mirror and spoke small, simple sentences. I am learning. Today is a good day. I am not afraid. These were not just English sentences. These were life sentences. They gave me energy. They gave me courage. They gave me a voice. At first, I felt shy. I couldn't look into my own eyes. I would smile, then look away. But slowly, day by day, I started to feel comfortable with myself. I realized that the most important person I needed to speak to was not my teacher, not a stranger, not a native speaker. It was me. The mirror became a safe place. A quiet space. A stage where I could practice my words, my feelings, my truth. And when I saw my mouth move, when I heard my own words in English, I began to believe them. My English was not just a language. It was becoming my identity. Something beautiful happened over time. My pronunciation became clearer. My sentences became stronger. But more than that, my belief in myself became real. Because I was no longer just learning English. I was creating a new version of myself. A version that was not afraid to speak. A version that didn't wait for someone else to listen. A version that said, if I can talk to myself with love, I can talk to the world with power. And that belief didn't just help me in English, it helped me in life. In job interviews, in public speaking, in conversations. It all began with a mirror and a voice. I want you to try this. Tomorrow morning, after you wake up, go to your mirror. Look at yourself. Even if you feel silly, even if you feel shy, just start. Say one sentence. Good morning. I'm proud of you. I'm learning English, and I'm doing great. You don't need to sound perfect. You don't need to speak fast. You just need to be honest. Let your face see your own effort. Let your ears hear your progress. Let your heart feel your own support. You have been waiting for others to encourage you. But maybe your own words are the ones you need most. And when you make a mistake, smile. Don't stop. Don't feel bad. Just correct it gently and try again. The mirror is not your enemy. It's your coach. It's your friend. It's your reminder that the power to speak is already inside you. You just have to unlock it, one small sentence at a time. Every time you speak in the mirror, you're not just practicing English. You're practicing courage. You're practicing love. You're practicing being the version of yourself that shows up, even when no one is watching. There's something very emotional about seeing yourself try. You realize you've been stronger than you thought. You realize that learning is not just about grammar, it's about grace. The grace to try, the grace to repeat, the grace to speak, even if your voice shakes. And that mirror, that little glass rectangle in your room, can reflect not just your face, but your future. I saw myself changing, day by day, sentence by sentence, smile by smile, and it all started with one choice. Today, I will speak to myself. So now I give you this gift. Go, find your mirror. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for perfect. Just speak. Speak with love. Speak with power. Speak with the heart of someone who knows. Your voice matters. And the first person who needs to hear it is you. Chapter 5, Morning English Journal, My Best Friend. It started with one small notebook. Just a blank page and a pen. I didn't know what to write. My English wasn't perfect. My thoughts were messy. But I remembered something powerful. Don't wait for perfect. Start with real. So I opened that notebook one morning and wrote 5 words. Today, I speak with love. That was it. No grammar rules. No fear. Just me, writing to myself in simple English. And from that moment, that notebook became more than paper. It became my morning friend. My mirror on the page. My quiet teacher. My personal space where I could grow, without fear, without judgment. That morning journal helped me fall in love with English and with myself. I started writing just one sentence every day. Then 2. Then 3. Some days I wrote about how I felt. I'm tired but trying. Other days I wrote what I wanted. I want to speak fluently. And sometimes I wrote dreams like, one day I'll travel and use my English. These weren't just sentences. They were little seeds I planted in the morning. And every time I wrote one, I felt stronger. I felt like I was building something, something that belonged to me. Not just vocabulary, not just language, but a new identity. A voice that could think, feel, and express in English. Not from a textbook, but from the heart. There's something magical about writing. When you write something down, it becomes real. When you see your own English, even if it's simple, even if it's not perfect, it gives you a kind of quiet power. It tells your brain, I'm doing it. I'm learning. I'm moving forward. Every sentence I wrote in my journal became a step on my journey. I didn't worry about grammar. I didn't care about big words. I just focused on honesty, on showing up, on giving myself 5 minutes to feel alive in English. And do you know what happened? My speaking improved too. Because when you write in English every morning, you are not just writing. You are thinking in English. You are building the sentences your mouth will later use. I started to notice it. I would speak a sentence and realize. I wrote something like this yesterday. My thoughts became sentences. My sentences became practice. My practice became fluency. Not fast, not perfect, but real. And that's all I ever wanted. To speak real English, from a real place, with a real heart. The journal also helped me emotionally. On days when I felt low, when I felt like I wasn't good enough, I would open an old page. I would read a sentence I wrote weeks ago, like, I am learning one day at a time, and it would comfort me. My own words, written in simple English, gave me strength. It reminded me that growth is slow, but it's happening. That I was showing up, even when it was hard. That I had proof. Proof that I was not lazy. Proof that I was trying. Proof that I cared. I want you to try this. Don't wait until your English is perfect. Don't think, I don't know what to write. That's exactly why you should write. Just open a small notebook, or even a piece of paper, and write one sentence each morning. That sentence can be anything. I am here. I want to be confident. English is hard, but I'm strong. Let your heart speak. Let your dreams speak. Let your truth speak. You don't need many words. You just need your words. And if you make a mistake, good. That means you're learning. Don't erase it. Smile at it. That mistake is your teacher. That mistake is a sign of effort. Be proud of it. The morning journal is not for judgment. It's for freedom. It's for learning. It's for showing your brain that this language belongs to you. You are not borrowing it. You are building it. Day by day, page by page, word by word. Today, my journal is full. Hundreds of sentences. Hundreds of thoughts. And every time I read them, I remember the mornings I wrote them. The sleepy eyes. The soft light. The quiet mind. And the brave heart that said, I'll try again today. That's why I say, my morning English journal is not just a notebook. It is my best friend. The one that saw me when I was weak. The one that stayed when I had nothing to say. The one that helped me believe, not just in English, but in myself. Chapter 6. Movement Before Motivation, the Morning Walk Trick. One morning, I woke up feeling lazy. I didn't want to write. I didn't want to speak. I didn't want to open my journal. My mind said, skip today. Just rest. But something inside me whispered, don't stop. Just move. So I got out of bed, put on my shoes, and stepped outside. The sun was just rising. The world was quiet. And I started walking. Slowly. No goal. No pressure. Just me, my breath, my body. I took a deep breath, looked at the sky, and said softly, I'm alive. I'm learning. That small walk, only 10 minutes, changed my whole morning. It didn't just wake up my body. It woke up my motivation. That day, I learned something important. You don't wait for motivation to move. You move, and motivation follows. Most people think they need to feel ready to start something. But that's not true. You don't need to feel inspired. You don't need to feel strong. You just need to start. Even slowly. Even softly. Even if you're tired. Because once your body starts moving, your brain starts waking up. Your heart starts beating with purpose. And your energy starts returning, little by little. That's the secret of the morning walk. It's not about exercise. It's about activation. It tells your brain, this day belongs to me. I started making walking a part of my morning routine. Not running. Not long walks. Just 5 or 10 minutes of simple movement. And here's what I did. I combined it with English. As I walked, I listened to short English podcasts, where I repeated sentences I learned the day before. I am learning. I am speaking clearly. English is with me. Sometimes I just talked to myself in a soft voice. Sometimes I listened, paused, and shadowed the speaker. That walk became more than a habit. It became my classroom, my temple, my thinking space. There's something special about walking early in the morning. The streets are quiet. The air is fresh. The world is soft. And in that silence, your thoughts become louder, not in a stressful way, but in a clear way. You begin to hear your own voice. You begin to feel your own focus. And when you speak in English during that walk, even if it's just simple words, your brain starts accepting English as part of your day. Not something separate, not something hard, but something natural, something beautiful, something yours. Many days, that walk saved me. When I felt sad, when I felt unmotivated, when I felt like giving up, I just put on my shoes, stepped outside, and started moving. And always, within a few minutes, I felt better. I didn't need to fix everything. I just needed to move. And when I moved, I believed again. Believed in myself. Believed in the process. Believed that even small steps are still steps forward. I want you to try this. Tomorrow morning, take a small walk. Don't check your phone. Don't talk to anyone. Just walk with your thoughts. Walk with your breath. And if you can, walk with your English. Say one sentence out loud, or repeat it in your mind. Let your feet walk with your voice. Let your breath carry your words. And if people look at you, smile. You are doing something powerful. You are learning. You are becoming. You are showing up. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait to feel perfect. Just move. 5 minutes is enough. And if you can't go outside, walk inside your home. Walk in place. But move. Because movement creates momentum. And momentum is stronger than any feeling. Some days you'll feel like a champion. Some days you won't. But your body won't lie to you. It knows how to keep going. And when your body leads, your mind will follow. Today, I still walk in the mornings. Sometimes I smile. Sometimes I cry. But every walk reminds me. I'm not stuck. I'm not small. I'm not weak. I'm moving forward. And every step, every breath, every word is proof that I am alive and learning. That's why I say, movement before motivation. Walk first. Feel later. And let your English walk with you. Chapter 7. The Habit Tracker That Made Me Honest. One morning, after my walk and mirror talk, I sat down and looked at the wall. I felt good. I felt proud. But something inside me asked, how many days have you actually done this? I didn't know. I couldn't remember. Some days I did it. Some days I didn't. I was trying. Yes. But was I being honest with myself? That question stayed with me. So I picked up a small notebook, drew a tiny box for each day, and wrote 3 words at the top. Did I show up? No excuses. No stories. Just yes or no. That notebook, that little paper with small boxes, became my habit tracker, and it changed everything. We all lie to ourselves sometimes, not in a bad way, but in a soft, lazy way. We say, I'm doing enough. I'm trying my best. I'll be better next week. But how do we know? Feelings can lie, but numbers don't. A simple check mark can tell the truth. And when I saw those boxes on the page, I saw my truth. 1 week for check marks. 3 blanks. That meant I showed up more than I skipped. That made me happy. The next week, 6 check marks. 1 blank. That made me even more proud. I didn't need anyone to clap for me. My tracker was my celebration, my proof, my personal scoreboard. And the best part? It was so simple. I didn't track big things. I just asked, did I do my morning habit today? 5 minutes of writing. Speaking one sentence. Going for a short walk. That's it. If I did it. If I didn't. No shame. Just truth. And that truth gave me power. Because when I saw the check marks growing, I saw myself growing. And when I missed a day, I didn't feel like a failure. I felt aware. I felt honest. And that honesty pulled me back on track. A habit tracker is not about being perfect. It's about being present. It helps you see your effort clearly. No guessing. No memory games. Just clear, simple data. Did I do what I said I'd do? And even more, it helps you believe in your own discipline. When you see 10 check marks in a row, you begin to say, I'm the kind of person who keeps going. That belief is powerful. That belief is what builds success. I also started writing short notes next to each check mark. Spoke to myself in the mirror. Listened to English while walking. Wrote a sentence about my dream. These notes became my story, a real record of my journey. I wasn't learning in silence anymore. I was writing my growth, living my progress. And over time, those tiny boxes built a habit. And that habit built a lifestyle. I want you to do this. Get a notebook, or a whiteboard, or even a calendar, and write one question. Did I show up today? Then create 7 small boxes for the week. After your morning habit, check the box. 1 check, 1 small victory. And if you miss a day, that's okay. Leave it blank. But promise yourself, tomorrow, I'll try again. Your goal is not perfection. Your goal is honesty. Because honesty creates awareness. And awareness creates change. When you track your habit, you start to care about it more. You don't want to break the chain. You don't want to lose the progress. And soon, you start to see yourself differently. Not as someone who gives up, but as someone who comes back. Again and again. That mindset is what separates dreamers from doers. And the habit tracker? It's your quiet reminder. You are doing this. Keep going. Today, when I look at my old trackers, I smile. I see the days I struggled. I see the days I won. I see the story of someone who didn't quit. Someone who kept showing up, even when motivation was gone. And that someone is me. Not a perfect person, but a present one. A consistent one. And now, that can be you too. So start today. Track your effort. Not your feelings. Not your thoughts. Just 1 check mark a day. That's how success becomes visible. And once you see it, you'll never stop. Chapter 8. From one day to every day. How it became a lifestyle. At first, I didn't believe I could change. I just wanted to fix one day. One lazy morning. One small problem. I didn't think about the future. I didn't call it a lifestyle. I didn't think I was becoming a morning person. I only told myself, today, I will show up for 5 minutes. That was it. But something beautiful happened. After doing it one time, I wanted to do it again. The next day, my body remembered, my mind remembered, and my heart whispered, "Try again." I did. One day became two, then three, and slowly, without shouting, without forcing, without pressure, it became a part of me. You see, real change doesn't feel like a big explosion. It feels like a soft whisper that keeps coming back. Every morning, I started waking up with a thought. What will I do for myself today? Not what do I owe others. Not what do I have to do. But what can I give me before I give the world? I began to love those early moments. The silence, the sunlight coming through the window, the quiet walk, the journal, the mirror talk. My English was still simple, but my voice was becoming strong. My soul was waking up, and it all began with one choice, repeated with love. Some mornings were easy. I jumped out of bed, full of energy. Other mornings were hard. I was tired, distracted, or upset. But I kept my promise. Just 5 minutes. Even on bad days, I didn't need to do everything. I just needed to do something. That thinking changed everything. Because perfection fails, but consistency wins. I stopped judging myself. I stopped asking, "Am I good enough?" I started asking, "Did I show up?" That one question built the bridge between my old self and the person I was becoming. Not perfect, but present. And that's more powerful than anything. I began to notice something amazing. The habit wasn't just helping my English. It was helping my whole life. I started managing time better. I felt calmer at work. I felt more focused in conversations. I even smiled more. Why? Because I wasn't carrying the guilt of wasted mornings. I wasn't carrying the pain of ignoring my dream. I was carrying proof, quiet, gentle proof, that I was building something every day. A lifestyle, a rhythm, a direction. It wasn't about English anymore. It was about respect, self-respect. When you give your first few minutes to yourself, the rest of your day respects you back. And do you know the best part? It stopped feeling like effort. My habit became like brushing my teeth. I didn't fight it. I didn't think too much. I just did it. The first few weeks, I had to push myself. But after that, it pulled me. That's what a lifestyle feels like. You don't need to plan it every time. You just live it. And slowly, it becomes part of your identity. You don't just say, "I want to learn English." You say, "I am a person who starts my day in English." I speak. I write. I move. I grow. That's who you are now. I want you to understand something. You don't have to wait for motivation every day. You don't need to wake up happy. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do one thing, again and again. Start with one action, then make it a part of your day. Let your brain relax into it. Don't pressure yourself. Let it become natural. Because once your brain believes this is who you are, the habit becomes automatic. That's when you know you've turned effort into lifestyle. Today, I don't call it a routine anymore. I call it my morning soul time. It's the time when I reconnect with myself, when I remember my purpose, when I feel my voice. And no matter what the rest of the day brings, stress, noise, people, I know I already gave myself something first. That makes me strong. That makes me free. And it started with one day. Just one. Maybe today can be your one day. Maybe today is the beginning of your every day. So don't think too far ahead. Don't ask, "Can I do this for the next year?" Ask only one thing. Can I do this today? And if you do, you've already won. Because a powerful life doesn't start with a big change. It starts with one small act, repeated with love. That's how one day becomes your everyday. That's how a morning habit becomes your lifestyle. Chapter 9. The Secret Ingredient. Why I Stopped Snoozing Life. There was a time when the snooze button was my best friend. Or at least, I thought it was. Every morning, my alarm would ring, and I would tap snooze. Again and again, I told myself, just 5 more minutes. But those 5 minutes never gave me real rest. They gave me delay. They gave me escape. They gave me a little more sleep, but a lot more guilt. I started my days late, confused, tired, and disappointed in myself. I wasn't just snoozing my alarm. I was snoozing my goals, my growth, my life. One day, I looked at that button and whispered to myself, "This small button is stealing my big future." That was the day I stopped snoozing life. The truth is, when you hit snooze, you're not just delaying time. You're sending a message to your brain. You're saying, "I'm not ready. I don't want this day. I don't want this moment." And when you say that often enough, your life starts to believe you. Your dreams start to believe you. That scared me. I realized that I had big dreams, but small habits. And those small habits were slowly killing my big vision. Not in one day, not in one week, but little by little, morning after morning. That's why I say, the secret ingredient to success is not a big plan. It's the ability to wake up and face the day on purpose. I decided to break the pattern, but not with pressure. I didn't say, "From tomorrow, I'll wake up perfectly every day." I said, "Tomorrow, I will do one thing. I will not snooze. I will open my eyes. I will sit up. I will breathe. And I will say, this is my moment." That small promise changed my relationship with the morning. It wasn't about being strong. It was about being awake. Not just awake in body, but in mind, in heart, in life. That moment, between sleep and decision, became my training ground. The place where I practiced courage. It wasn't easy at first. The bed was warm. The thoughts were soft. The mind said, "It's okay, just one more time." But I remembered my new rule. I whispered, "You've snoozed enough. Now it's time to live." And I would sit up, drink water, stretch, and speak one sentence in English. That sentence, spoken early, became my alarm. Not the machine's alarm, but my own. My soul's alarm. I began to hear it, feel it, respond to it. And slowly, the habit of snoozing died. And the habit of showing up, for myself, was born. Something powerful happens when you stop snoozing. You start building trust. Not with others, with yourself. You say, "I will do this," and then you do it. Your confidence grows. Your voice becomes clearer. Your energy becomes cleaner. You stop dragging yourself through the day. You start leading it. And when that happens, your English practice becomes easier. Your listening becomes sharper. Your speaking becomes braver. Because now, you're not just practicing English. You're practicing presence. You're practicing being here. I want you to think about this. How many dreams have you snoozed? How many days have you delayed? How many mornings have passed while your future waited in silence? It's okay. We've all done it. But today can be different. You don't have to fight the whole mountain. Just rise once, without delay. Just sit up, breathe, and begin. That one decision, repeated daily, will change everything. So here's my challenge to you. Tomorrow morning, when your alarm rings, don't touch snooze. Touch your dream. Speak one sentence out loud. "This is my time. I am ready." Get up, even slowly. Walk, write, speak. Do something small. And if your body resists, smile and say, You'll thank me later. Because you will. Trust me. Your future self will look back and say, I'm so glad you didn't snooze that day. Today, I no longer fight my mornings. I welcome them. I no longer run from time. I run with it. And every day I wake up, I remind myself, life doesn't wait. And neither should I. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be awake. That's the secret. Not magic. Not motivation. Just this. Get up and begin. Chapter 10. What I gained. Not just English, but energy. When I first started my morning habit, I thought I was doing it for my English. I thought, if I speak one sentence in the morning, I will become more fluent. And yes, it helped. My English got better. My confidence grew. My voice became stronger. But something surprising happened along the way, something I didn't expect. I started feeling more alive, more awake, more present. I began the day with energy, not because I slept more, but because I was doing something for me. That small act of self-respect, those 5 quiet minutes, gave me a kind of energy I had never felt before. It didn't just change my language. It changed my life. You see, energy is not just physical. It's emotional. It's spiritual. When you do something that connects you with your dream, even a small thing, your heart wakes up. Your eyes shine brighter. You feel like you are moving toward something real. That's what happened to me. My English practice in the morning wasn't perfect. Some days I mumbled. Some days I just wrote. But it made me feel alive. Because I wasn't waiting for the right time anymore. I was creating the right time, every single day. Before this habit, I used to feel tired all the time. I blamed my job. I blamed my sleep. I blamed the weather. But now I understand. I was tired because I was disconnected. I had lost my why. I was waking up and jumping into other people's lives. Work, messages, noise. But when I started giving the first part of my day to myself, to my voice, my thoughts, my goals, everything changed. I felt focused. I felt light. I felt energy from within. That energy came from purpose. And purpose is the most powerful fuel in the world. Some people drink coffee in the morning to feel awake. I still do sometimes. But nothing gives me more strength than a few minutes of speaking my truth, of writing one line in English, of looking in the mirror and saying, "You're doing great." That kind of energy doesn't fade after 1 hour. It stays with me. It carries me through meetings, through problems, through stress. Because I know I've already won the first battle of the day. I showed up for myself. And here's the best part. When you feel that energy, people around you notice. They may not know what changed, but they see the light in your eyes. They feel your calm. Your voice sounds stronger. Your face looks more relaxed. Your words carry more power. And when they ask you, what happened to you? You smile. Because you know the answer. It was never about magic. It was about a small choice, repeated with love. It was about doing something meaningful for 5 minutes and letting that meaning grow. I want you to feel this too. Not just better English, but better mornings, better focus, better energy. Not the kind you buy from outside, but the kind you build from within. And you don't need to wait for it. You don't need a perfect plan. Just start with one act. Speak, write, walk, breathe. Show yourself that you care. And watch what happens. This energy is not loud. It's not fast. It's not fake. It's soft, but strong. It says, I know who I am. I know where I'm going. That energy will help you speak with more confidence, learn with more joy, live with more peace. And the more you give to yourself each morning, the more you have to give to others, to your work, your family, your world. Today, I don't need a reminder to do my habit. My heart reminds me. My energy reminds me. My life reminds me. Because I've tasted something real. And now, I never want to go back. So if you've been feeling tired, lost, unmotivated, don't wait. Begin. Give yourself 5 minutes tomorrow. Speak one sentence. Write one dream. That's not just English practice. That's life practice. And the reward is not just better words. It's better energy, the kind that carries you toward the person you're meant to be. Chapter 11. When people asked me, "What happened to you?" It didn't happen on the first day, or the second, or even the third. But slowly, as the weeks passed, I began to change. Not just inside, but outside too. My face looked more alive. My eyes had more light. My shoulders stood taller. I didn't rush into rooms anymore. I entered them calmly. I didn't speak too fast or too soft. I spoke clearly, with quiet confidence. I was still the same person, but something about me felt different. And then, one day, a friend looked at me and said something I'll never forget. She smiled and asked, "What happened to you?" And in that moment, I realized they could see it too. That question was like a mirror. It reflected the growth I hadn't fully noticed. I had been waking up early, practicing English, writing in my journal, walking, talking to myself. I had been building something in silence. And now, the world was starting to hear the results. My friend said, "You look more peaceful, like you're in control." Another said, "Your English sounds more natural now." Even people who didn't know about my routine could feel something. And the truth is, it wasn't just about speaking better. It was about becoming better. Every little choice I made in the morning was building a new me. Quietly, gently, powerfully. At first, I didn't know how to answer. I just smiled and said, "I started waking up a little earlier." But deep down, I knew it was more than that. It wasn't about the clock. It was about the decision. The decision to stop waiting. The decision to stop snoozing my life. The decision to start with myself every single day, even if for only 5 minutes. And that decision changed everything. Because when you show up for yourself with love, the world begins to show up for you differently too. People began asking me for advice. "How are you so calm in the morning? How did your English improve? How do you stay so focused?" And every time, I wanted to laugh. Not because the questions were funny, but because the answer was so small. So simple. I didn't take any course. I didn't join any challenge. I didn't buy any program. I just created one small habit, and I kept it. Every day, one step, one sentence, one promise. That's what people were noticing. Not magic, not perfection, just presence. This chapter in my life reminded me of something beautiful. When you build something in silence, it speaks loudly later. You don't need to announce your growth. Your energy will announce it for you. Your voice will announce it. Your peace, your posture, your smile, they all speak. And people listen. They feel your change. And they ask, "What happened to you?" I want you to imagine this moment for yourself. You've been doing your morning practice, speaking one line in English, writing one thought, walking with purpose. You've been feeling more focused, more alive. And then one day, someone close to you, a friend, a coworker, maybe even a stranger, looks at you differently and asks, "Have you changed something? You seem different." That moment will feel like a reward, not because you want attention, but because you'll realize your quiet effort is now visible. That's the power of consistency. It doesn't need noise. It just needs time. And when that moment comes, I want you to remember this. You did that. You created it. Not anyone else. Not luck. Not talent. You. You woke up. You practiced. You showed up. You gave yourself the love, the space, and the time to grow. And now, the world is noticing. That's what real success looks like. It's not about applause. It's about awareness, yours and theirs. So when someone asks you, what happened to you? Smile. Because the answer is beautiful. I started choosing myself every morning. And now, I'm becoming the person I always wanted to be. Chapter 12. You don't need to be perfect. You just need one morning. If you remember only one thing from this story, let it be this. You don't need to be perfect. Not in your English. Not in your habits. Not in your life. You just need to begin. Not next year. Not next month. Not even next week. Just one morning. One honest, quiet, simple morning. That's all it takes to start building something powerful. I spent years thinking I had to fix everything. I thought I needed motivation, a big plan, a better environment. But I was wrong. All I needed was one peaceful morning, one moment when I decided to stop ignoring myself and start choosing myself. That one morning didn't change everything at once, but it changed something. And that small change became the doorway to a better life. I didn't become fluent in 1 week. I didn't wake up full of energy every day. I didn't always follow my routine perfectly. But I kept returning to that simple truth. I can begin again. I can give myself one morning. That truth became my anchor, my reset button, my light. Because even when the day before was hard, even when I failed, even when I felt tired, I knew I could return to that one space. My 5 minutes, my mirror, my notebook, my voice. That space became my power. You don't need a perfect routine. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. every single day. You don't need to do everything right. All you need is one morning to remind yourself that your life belongs to you. One small moment of silence. One small act of love. One sentence in English. One step toward your dream. That's how we grow, not with big explosions, but with small, steady sparks. Sparks that you create every time you say, "Today, I will try, just a little." There were days when I cried in the morning. Days when I sat in silence because I couldn't find the words. Days when I wanted to go back to sleep. But I stayed. I stayed with myself. I stayed with the quiet. I stayed with my hope. And slowly, that became my strength. I realized I didn't need to impress anyone. I didn't need to be perfect. I just needed to show up, even broken, even lost, even uncertain. And that small act of showing up became the reason I started feeling whole again. This journey was never just about English. It was about identity. It was about finding my rhythm. It was about learning how to listen, not just to teachers or books, but to my own heart. And when I did that, my English grew. My energy grew. My belief grew. My mornings were no longer something I escaped. They became something I looked forward to. They became the foundation of my day and my life. So if you've ever felt like you're not good enough, if you've ever said, "I'll try when I'm ready," if you've been waiting for the perfect time to start, let me tell you this. You are already ready. You don't need permission. You don't need perfection. You just need one morning. A morning that belongs to you. A morning when you say, "I'm tired of waiting. I'm ready to grow." Tomorrow can be that morning. Not because of what you'll do, but because of who you'll become. A person who speaks, even if the words are small. A person who writes, even if the sentences are short. A person who wakes up for themselves, not just for the world. And that person, That you is more than enough. If this story touched your heart, if any chapter felt like your life, then let today be your first morning. No more waiting. No more snoozing. Start small. Start slow. But start. And if you do, come back and tell me in the comments. I gave myself one morning. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Unleash Your English, and visit this channel regularly. Every video is here to remind you of your power, not just to learn English, but to build the life you truly want. Because success doesn't start with perfect words. Success starts with you. And sometimes, it all begins with one quiet morning.